Thanks, everybody. I got to say, guess where I'm at? I'll give you a hint. Here we go. Yay. Oh my gosh, it is really wonderful to be in here. I'm just loving feeling us all back here again. And I hope you know, we've been trying to make sure that we all stay aware of the fact that although the church building is closed, this church is thriving, and we are trying our best to be really cognizant of our connection to one another. The chaplains have you in prayer, as well as the board members, and I know lots of congregants, all of you out there, we're keeping each other in prayer, holding the love and light for everyone who enters this church. And I love that about it. And also, I hope you've all received at least one phone call, text, or an email from one of the board members or a chaplain, just letting you know that we are still here. And if there's anything that we can do to support you, we want to do that. So if you have not received that, we might not have your info. So just call the church and let us know, and we'll make sure that one of us reach out to you, because we are all in this together. And it is just such a beautiful feeling to know that we're connected, whether we're in this building or not. And the other thing I love is that as I'm calling people, and people are being honest about, what they're feeling, but they keep telling me how they're using their spiritual tools to come back to the truth and stay in the knowing that love is the answer, and that they want to stay in positivity and they don't want to get caught up in all of the negativity and fear. And it just goes to show that Unity of Garden Park, we are a radiating center of divine love and light, and we are working it. We are working it whether we're here or whether we're at home, wherever we are. I love hearing that. And so I am all about it. When Reverend Kathy asked me to talk with you all, of course I had to take it in a meditation to make sure that it felt right. But I knew in my heart that it was going to be right, because I have been working the principles and seeing it happen in my own life. And so I was excited to share with you all. It felt so right to share with you all what's been happening with my life and how the Unity principles are showing up for me. Of course, right before, I would say yesterday, all of a sudden, I don't know, I think I thought I was supposed to be an ordained Unity minister in a day, because I found myself reading everything, trying to learn all that was in this book and going back to this book. And when I learned this and this and this, and I caught myself, I had to laugh at myself, because it really has a lot to do with the talk today, which is no surprise. I caught myself and I said, I'm not a formal trained Unity minister. That's not what I was invited for today. That's not what I was called to do today. What I am is, like you, I'm a spiritual practitioner, and we are working this. And the more we work our spiritual muscle, the more miracles and just affirmations and conviction of what we are learning, it's what we're believing, we start to begin to know on every level that what we're being taught and what we're doing makes a difference. But when I was in the midst of all this craziness and I caught myself, what am I doing? This isn't meant to be hard. This is meant to be a conversation between friends. And I just said, I need to relax and get all this out of my mind. So I just kind of sat down. And what I like to do is I like to watch like little romantic movies, and I'll catch bits and pieces throughout my day. And I just got back on and I was watching Forces of Nature. I have no idea if it's good or not. I just didn't see it before. So I had it on. And the minute, I swear to you, I was about 8 minutes into the movie when I clicked back on to just kind of take my mind away. And in that moment, the fiance was saying to Ben Affleck, she was saying, did you write your vows? And he said, well, it's easy for you. I'm a writer. I have to really put time and energy and really think about this. And she said, no, she said, these were her exact words. She said, you don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to be witty. You don't even have to be polite. You just have to be honest. And I was like, Well, there it is. I don't have to be brilliant. I just have to be honest. And so I'm here today as a conversation between friends, all of us together working these unity principles in our lives. How powerful is that? And that's what I love about this church, is that I know that we are working together. In my personal journey, and for many people, pain often brings us into this, right? We're in pain and we're reaching, we're waking, we have to wake up because there's a way out. And all of a sudden we're able to see what that is. And so what happened for me, pain was definitely the driving force that brought me here. But then what happens is the vision pulls you forward. So the pain might have brought you in, but the vision is pulling us forward. And I was in desperate need to work these principles in my life and to figure out how to stop trying to fix myself and everything. I was always working hard at trying to be better. I wanted to be a good person. I wanted to be a good mom. I wanted to be a good friend. I was never good enough. I had to work at it. Work, work, work. Totally driven by perspiration, not by inspiration, because I was cut off from that. I was having trouble hearing it because I was too busy trying to fix things. And not only was I doing that to myself, but I was doing that to everybody around me. I had taken a life success seminar, and one of the things that really sticks in my mind, that was a beautiful visual that might be powerful for you as well when you try to fix things, which I think is kind of interesting because Kayleen sang the song from Coldplay about how he's going to fix her. But that isn't needed. The love, the compassion, the standing, lean on me, stand by me, those things are needed. But the trying to fix one another, misguided, because we don't need to fix one another. God's got this. And what I learned in this little visual was I was given a little presentation, and I was asked to just keep on talking no matter what happened. So as I was giving this little presentation, the facilitator of this course came up, and all of a sudden he started doing things like this: fixing my shirt, playing with my hair, twisting me this way, turning me that way, giving me this to hold, turning me this way. And I kept talking. It was very difficult. It was very difficult to keep that going. And then it just dawned on me, what he was showing me is that when we are trying to fix somebody, that is what we're doing to them. When we are constantly trying to fix ourselves, we're walking through life, standing up straight, turning ourselves. We're constantly in our way. And we do that to one another. And I would say that we take it a step further. We're doing it to our world as we're trying to fix it. There's something wrong. Is there something wrong? Is that true? So in the knowing of that, and I began to just kind of slow things down and listen to my divine guidance within. I started to use the unity principles and go within to find my way. I don't need to fix this. I need to wake up to who I really am. I need to wake up to who I really am. And I need to allow the real Christ presence in me to come forward through me as me. And there's where the work began. So I took the unity principles, knowing number one is that God is everywhere and there is nowhere that God is not. He's in everything, and it's in everything, and everything is in it. Whether you call it God, source, universe, I'm not attached to any name, because truthfully, is there a name that's big enough for what that is? But when we realize that and we stay focused on that, you can see how it begins to allow us to see things differently. And then knowing that what that presence is also within us, therefore we are inherently good. Every single one of us, no matter what we have done, no matter what we're doing, that presence, that essence is always within us. So I always take those two principles into my meditation, and we'll do that together when we do meditation today, where you just kind of breathe in God is, that knowing, and then you hold on to I am. God is I am. If I can let go of thinking something's wrong here and just allow the Christ presence in me to come forward, oh, there's where the power is. And so the third principle is one that has really caught my eye of late, because it is about our thinking, that we do co-create our world, that we create through our thoughts and now we're seeing even more our feelings. Our thoughts and feelings are creating our world always. How are you doing with that? I mean, I think most of us, we say it all the time, right? Our thoughts are prayers. We know it. We know that what we think about, we bring about, that thoughts in mind produce of their kind. We say it, but if you know it and you don't do it, you don't know it. And I'm not sure where you all are with that, but I was doing really well with it, actually, because I had to. I started to love myself. I started to love others and their journey and respect the God within them, that I did not have to fix anything. And I started to live from that place. But recently, I was drawn back to A Course in Miracles. And there was one lesson in the Course in Miracles that really stuck in my mind. And it was, no thoughts are neutral. You're supposed to hold on to that and kind of go through your day and just realize no thoughts are neutral. Doesn't sound like that big of a sentence, but for me, it was powerful, because when I really thought about that, no thoughts are neutral, I found so many thoughts I was still hanging on to and saying that were getting in my way. So many little thoughts, like just even like, oh, I should be further along, or I shouldn't have done that, or I need to have more energy, or I'm not getting enough done, or I haven't reached out, I'm not doing enough for other people, or those kind of little thoughts, not a big physical reaction. But if all thoughts are neutral, then I'm being called to work on those thoughts as well. So that just opened me up to a whole nother level of being aware of my thinking and then of my feelings. Because some of those little thoughts, I don't really have a big gut reaction to. They're just little thoughts. But if no thoughts are neutral, then those little thoughts need my attention too. I'm not going to let myself get away with anything. So, but there's no judgment. There's no frustration in it. There's no resistance in it. It's just, oh, I see, and let it be. When I first started working on changing my thinking, I had this little, I think it was like the 4 R's. You had to recognize that the thought was getting in your way. You had to realize that you could choose another thought. Then you had to replace it. And then you had to rejoice in it. And it was this big process. And then I kind of moved to, when I catch it, I can just let it go and ask God to take it for me. And now I realize all I got to do is catch it. If I catch it with no judgment, no resistance, there's already a shift. It's already happening. It's already done. And I'm finding that I am able to move through some very challenging times with that peace that surpasses all resistance. Peace that surpasses all, that's not the word that I want, resistance. Peace that surpasses all, anybody help me out? Understanding. Yes, I got it. Peace that surpasses all understanding. That's what I mean. That's what I'm finding. Peace that surpasses all understanding. As I'm looking at the situation in our world, and I'm realizing it is not mine to fix. I'm not supposed to do this through perspiration. There may be things that I'm to do, but it's going to come through inspiration, which is going to be coming from that 4th principle of taking it to prayer and meditation and tapping into my divine wisdom. That what is mine to do? So instead of asking those unempowering questions like, why is this happening? What's wrong with the world? I've changed it to those empowering questions like, what is mine to do? How can I help? And what keeps coming back to me is that I'm already doing it. That when we are doing this work, our work, cleaning up our thinking, attending to our feelings, we not only stop getting in the way and cause resistance for our loved ones, ourselves, our loved ones, our planet, we start to be the wind beneath the wings of our own growth, of our family and loved ones, and of this world. You know, I've been riding bikes lately, really having fun doing that. And there's this one place along the bike path. I'm riding on the Miami Trail, and it goes through Hamilton, the city, all down the rivers. Very beautiful, beautiful trail if you've ever been on it. It's lots of fun. And so as I'm going through this one section, it's kind of run down. You know, there's no flowers, and it's just the river's there, which is lovely, but everything around it is kind of like just says, this hasn't been getting any love or attention. It's just kind of run down. And it's also a wind tunnel. So as you're going through that, sometimes it's very windy and it's very hard to pump that bike. So I will be going through that area and I would be like, oh, this is the worst part of this trip. You know, I just don't like this part, but it'll be over soon. And I kept just going through it and seeing how hard it is to pedal through the resistance. And that's when it dawned on me that when we are judging and trying to fix and getting in the way of divine order, we become the wind that is resisting and making it harder for us to move forward, making it harder for our loved ones to move forward. When we're worrying about them, when we're concerned about them, when we think they need something, where is our faith? Where is the knowing that the God that's within us is within them, guiding them? We are causing resistance. So we're not only not helping by worrying and fretting and being negative, we are not only not helping them, we're actually making it harder for them and making it harder for ourselves and making it harder for our world. And then I also remember there are no neutral thoughts. So as I'm saying, this is the hardest part of the trip, and I'm just pedaling away, and I'm just affirming that over and over again. So I made a change, and I decided that during that time, as I'm going through that space, I'm going to know that this part of the trip was the one that was exactly for me. It is designed for me to change my thinking. It's designed for me to visualize what I want to see, to send unconditional love to this area. It is designed to help me. It is designed to help me in my spiritual journey. And it kind of reminded me, you know how Reverend Kathy, she's always referring to Mr. Rogers' mother, and how Mr. Rogers' mother says, look for the helpers. And so I always think about that. And I think to myself, who are the helpers? Let's take it a step further. Whatever's in front of you, whoever's in front of you, that's your helper. That's your spiritual helper. It's there, it's there to help you expand. And this was a spiritual helper for me, and I was very grateful for it. So now that stretch, instead of becoming the hardest part of the trip, has become one of my favorite parts of the trip, because I talk to God, I imagine, and then I said, I don't need to see this. I don't need to change this. I just need to love it. Just love it. Love that good things are going to come from this. And another line in the Course in Miracles, another one of the lessons that was very powerful to me of late, is that I am determined to see this differently. How powerful is that? I am determined to see this differently and let it go. We don't have to effort. We just have to know I'm determined to see this differently. And I'm determined to see that section of the path differently. I'm determined to see what I see in the world that could invoke fear. I am determined to see it differently. I'm determined to see that as each one of us had to look at our shadow And we had to love all the parts of us, the parts that we were trying to hide for so long that we did not think were worthy or good enough. We had to love all our curves and edges and our perfect imperfections. As we did that, we healed, and more of the Christ was allowed to come through. The same thing in our world. As we see the veil is lifted, we can't hide anymore the truth of where we're at. So can we love and know that good will come from this, and stay in that knowing? And then instead of being resistance, we have to change it. We have to fix this. We allow the beauty of this world to come forth, and we had trust in divine order that we will know what is ours to do, and we're ready for it. Bring it on, and send love and compassion to all those who are suffering. Because of course we send such love and compassion to everyone, but we stay in the knowing that divine order is happening, and we are determined to see it differently. That's our work. That's our work. You know, in Jesus's words, he's ask and it is given. So I know our church has been asking for peace. We've been asking for love. We've been affirming it. It's done. We have to know that we have to let this bubble up and come to the surface so that we can see and love and watch what happens. Let's just watch do your part. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me. That means us. If we're having negative thoughts, if we are entertaining our fear, then there's the work. And feeling your feelings is such a huge part of it as well. And I learned that. So we have to honor those feelings. Those there are there for healing. They too have to bubble up. So when you're feeling the hurt, you're feeling the fear, you're feeling the anger, no judgment. Allow that. Be with it. I allow it to come through me. Let me feel it. Let me know that it will come through me. It's not going to stay stuck if I allow it. And let me use those emotions to move me forward and to follow my inspired action, not perspired, inspired action. That's where I want to be. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. We say it every Sunday. We sing it every Sunday. Let us live it. Let us be it, and let us do it. And as we're doing this work, isn't it wonderful? And I know you all are experiencing it as well. Those miracles that come your way, those little miracles that are just saying, you are right on track. Enjoy it. Be grateful. I cannot stop saying thank you. I must say it. Oh my goodness. I can't even tell you how many times a day. I'm so grateful for miracles that have come my way, for my family. And one day I'll be able to share that with you. It's not just my story to tell, but it's so beautiful. And I used the work that we are learning at our church to bring health and healing and wholeness to myself, and therefore, of course, my family. And now that moves out to the world. We know it. If we know it, we don't do it. We don't know it. So let's know it. Let's do it. Let's do it. You keep doing what you're doing, because I know that the people I'm looking at right now, and I'm going to take a minute to just look at your faces. Oh my gosh, I know you're doing this work. And it is beautiful. You are so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I got to just take 1 second here to take you all in. I know that you are doing this work, and we have great work to do. This is our purpose, to unconditionally love, to know, to walk in our faith, and to know that what's ours to do will be divinely inspired, and we'll follow that lead. I want you to know that I have all that faith in you, and I promise to be the wind beneath your wings. I know you don't need me to fix you or to tell you what to do. I know I would just be getting in your way and causing great resistance. What I want you to know is that I want to be the wind beneath your wings, and you are already mine. I can feel it, and I so appreciate you, and I appreciate this opportunity. And I want you to know that it is a conversation, even though it's just one way right now, but it is a conversation that I want to have with you. So if you want to share with me where you are on your spiritual journey, what you're working on, what your miracles on, oh, I would love to hear them. I would love to hear them. So please, my number's in the directory, or you can call the church to get it. Don't hesitate to call me if you want a spiritual partner. A lot of us, we go out for coffee as friends. We know we're spiritual partners because boom, we're onto that conversation before you know it. So with that, I just want you to know that you are powerful. What we're doing, it matters. We are powerful. Let me just read to you, and I know you've heard this before, but I just want to read from Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful. Light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. I'm going to say that one more time. We are all meant to shine. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in every one of us. And as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. As Martin Luther King said, you can't drive out the hate with more hate. You can't drive out darkness with darkness. You must have light. Only light can do that. Let me read exactly what he said. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Remember who you are. You are a radiating center of divine love and light, mighty to attract your good and radiate good to others. That's our job. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.